Well, hello, welcome back to LittleVFarm. My name is China, and a couple weeks ago, I had talked to you guys about the fact that I make my own vanilla extract, and I had strained some beans that I started last summer. And I was surprised actually how many of you guys were curious where I get them, how I do the process, how long it takes, and then kind of what I do with the beans after. So I ordered some more beans and they just got here. So we're going to go ahead and walk through the whole process from start to finish, from where I get them, how long it takes, and what I do with the beans afterwards. So let's go ahead and jump in and talk about all things vanilla. So let's start with what you need and where to get it. So you're gonna obviously need vanilla beans. This is 4 ounces of beans. Last time I got 8 and it was just a lot, honestly. So I got 4 ounces this time, and I order my vanilla from Indri's Vanilla. If you're on Facebook, you've probably heard of the Facebook group. It's pretty popular, but you do not need to be in the Facebook group to order the vanilla. I'm in zero way affiliated with them. I just was recommended them by a friend, and I've used them now twice, and it's been very easy. So I figured I would just show you guys the way I did it. So I went to this website, and basically from their website, you can choose whatever variety they have available. This is the tulip variety from Ecuador. It's like a very floral variety. They'll have different varieties on there and just talk about the different notes of them. So if you're looking for a certain flavor profile, they'll have all that on there. But basically, I just chose this version, and this tulip variety from Ecuador was $10 an ounce, and I got 4 ounces, so it was $40. And then they do have this little chart here that shows you for shipping. So it was just $5 for shipping. So this 4 ounces of beans delivered to my door was 45 bucks. That, price range can vary. The last batch of beans I got last summer, those were, I think, only $7 an ounce. So it just kind of depends. But you don't need that much. And it's really just something that's kind of special and cool to make. So for me, it was worth the $45 to get them. You just fill out this Google form that has all of your information, how many ounces you're getting. And I chose to pay through PayPal, but you can choose a bunch of different varieties. So for me, I just went through PayPal. I paid the $45. And then when I was done, I just emailed them with my confirmation number and just some of my basic information. And then I got my email confirmation back from them that let me know my beans had been ordered. And then it wasn't very long. I want to say it just took about a week or so. And then my beans showed up in the mail. And so what happens is the beans will come in like a little bubble mailer, and inside they will be in a Ziploc. And then what you want to do is get them out of that Ziploc as quickly as possible, quite frankly. All I do is I take them out of the Ziploc and I put them in a mason jar, and then I just seal the jar with a vacuum sealer. If you don't have that, honestly, just get them into some sort of airtight container and then get them processed pretty quickly if you don't have them something that's super sealed. You just want to make sure that we're avoiding any sort of extra moisture so they don't mold. That's kind of the big thing. So I honestly let mine sit in the Ziploc for about 2 days on the counter, and then I moved it to the mason jar and air sealed it. And that was on March 1st. Today, I believe, is like the 16th. So they've been sitting in this jar for about 2 weeks exactly, and they are just fine. So you're going to need to get your beans, and that's how you get them. And so for 4 ounces of beans, you're realistically going to get about 2 cups of extract, or maybe a little less. But that's quite a lot, realistically, when you think about it, because most recipes call for maybe a teaspoon or two max of extract. And then if you're going to gift it to anyone, which is what I plan to do with this batch this year, I just got these little 2-ounce jars, and it's plenty. And I just figured that would be a cute little addition for a gift for people. But realistically, a little bit goes a long way. So 2 cups of extract is going to be a lot. So you got your beans and you've got them all situated. And then what you're going to need is some form of alcohol to do the extract. So we actually don't drink alcohol in our house. It's something I'm super proud of. Next month, actually, I'll be 2 years sober from alcohol. And it's just a big deal for me because it's, just something that I kind of always felt was like normal to drink. And, it was kind of a big part of my life. And so I'm really proud of the fact that we are alcohol free, and are alcohol free and able to keep alcohol in the house. So pretty proud of myself for that one. But we do have 2 types of alcohol that I'm going to do this time. So last time I just did basic vodka. You want to make sure that it is a 40% alcohol by volume, like an 80 proof alcohol. vodka, bourbon. You can use like Everclear, anything that's really potent though. You want to use that. You don't want to use any mixes or anything. It's got to be true alcohol. So I have the vodka, which is what I used last time. So I'm going to do 1 cup of the vodka batch this time. And then I'm also going to use this Brothers Bond. So for a brief moment in my life before we moved, I was a district like HR manager for ABC Liquor in Florida. Amazing company, amazing people. Literally, they're the best. I so loved my time there. I felt like I was part of the family. But during that time, I got to meet a lot of celebrities and go to a lot of liquor signings. And if you are a Vampire Diaries, I think it's Vampire Diaries. I am so sorry if it is not. Please do not get mad at me. But the Brothers Bond is actually from the 2 guys from Vampire Diaries, and they came and did a signing. And so that's what this bottle of bourbon is. But I think I have enough here to do about a cup's worth of that. So instead of doing 2 cups of the vodka like I did last year, I am going to do a cup of each in 2 separate bottles, I think, and try that out. If I don't have a full cup here, then I'll probably just go ahead and do all vodka. And then you're going to need some sort of container to put them in that's airtight. I used this guy last time since I just did 2 cups of the vodka mixture with the beans. And so I just did this, so I have it out for this time. But since I might do the bourbon, I'll probably just get a mason jar. Honestly, just a basic mason jar like this guy, literally with all the beans out of it, and just put a lid on it. So you need some sort of jar to put the vodka and the beans in. And then that's pretty much all you need. So you just need the beans, a 80 proof alcohol, and then a container to put it in that has a lid to seal it. So we know what we need and we know where to get it. So once you get your beans in the mail and you have everything here, now let's talk a little bit about the process itself and kind of what you need to do to get prepared. So I have only done this one time. I did it last summer. So my 8 ounces last time basically got me 2 full of these little like pour bottles of them. And what I did was, this is the one that I use. I just keep on the counter for baking. And then I split all the other ones into little containers for long-term storage. I like air sealed them and I have those on the shelf. But yeah, I got 2 of these out of it, which is quite a bit for me. And realistically, the longer you let it sit, the more infused it's going to be. The more beans you put in there, the stronger it's going to be. The more you open up the beans and cut them up, the stronger it's going to be. So they have different like folds. They have 2, 3, 4 folds. And I don't really know what that means. I could do the research, but to me, it's irrelevant. Basically, my plan is to take my 4 ounces of beans. I'm going to cut them open and potentially cut them in half. And then I'm going to put them in about 2 cups of liquor. And then we will let it sit in that alcohol for at least 6 months. So it is the middle of March. So we're talking April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. I'm honestly going to let it sit until probably the middle of December for Christmas time. And then I'll go ahead and strain some of it. I'll strain the beans out, and then I will have my vanilla extract to use for Christmas gifts next year. So if you are interested in doing something like this as well for Christmas gifts, it's kind of the perfect time to start. Realistically, if you see this video and want to order, you know, between now and sometime in April, you'll get your beans and still have 6 months minimum to, you know, have them soaking in there. And if you decide to do them like I do, which is a pretty strong, you know, cut open and really a really heavy fold, you know, vanilla extract, it'll be really potent in 6 months. So you'll be good to go. So yeah, so my recommendation is a minimum of 6 months. You can leave it for way longer. It'll just have a more potent flavor, but you really can't go wrong if you do it, you know, pretty open, cut the beans really good and let it sit in there for 6 months or so. You'll be good to go. But realistically, once you have your beans and your alcohol in your jar, you're going to seal it up and just put it in, you know, the cabinet, throw it on top of the fridge. I had mine actually above the stove here so I would remember to see it. And you just every so often want to give it a little shake. You don't even need to open it or anything. I didn't pretty much the whole time. I think I might have opened it once or twice, but realistically, you just want to give it a good shake to make sure the beans are all getting incorporated into that alcohol. And then you just leave it on the shelf. And that's pretty much it. Super easy. So let's go ahead and jump in, and I'm going to get these beans started. I'm going to get these cut open and we are going to make our extract together. So what I'm going to do, I have my little scale here. This is completely unnecessary, but for whatever reason, my OCD is feeling like it today. So I am going to go ahead and I have a bowl and my scale, and I'm just going to go to ounces. I'm going to put my little bowl on here. I'm going to reset it to 0, and I'm going to see if I have 8 ounces of this bourbon to do the beans in it. Okay, so what I decided to do was go ahead and pour out this bourbon. Well, even when I was a drinker, bourbon was not for me. I can't stand the way it smells. But I went ahead and poured this out because I wanted to see if I had 8 ounces so I could do half the beans in it, just even. And I kid you not, I have exactly 8 ounces of the bourbon. So that is perfect. So I am going to transfer this 8 ounces into a mason jar. And then I'm going to measure out the vodka the same way. I'm going to do 8 ounces of the vodka, put that in a separate jar. So I opted for 2 wide mouth pint jars. I'm going to go ahead and get the vodka and the bourbon individually put in these, and then we're going to cut up those beans. So really quick, I just wanted to show you guys. I started this apple cider vinegar. I don't know, it's been probably, it's been a few weeks, but I just want to show you, look at that line right there. Do you see that? So you guys see that kind of white line at the top there? That's a mother. We got a mother on top of this jar. I'm super excited. And for anyone that was following along back in the winter, I had made this fire cider with you guys. It is full of all kinds of health goodness and antioxidants and just health benefits. And I haven't strained it yet, but it is beyond ready. So I need to strain that as well. But yeah, this has sat and is ready to help in case any sickness works its way through this house. I'm really excited about that. I'll make sure to tag that video. So if anyone wants to make one, you can see how I did it. So I've got 8 ounces each, 1 cup of the bourbon, and then 1 cup of vodka. And I'm going to sit these aside. We do not need those just yet. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I opened up the jar of beans. These are your beautiful vanilla beans. They're sealed, closed, but they are gorgeous. Oh, they smell so potent. Man, they smell like some candy as a kid. I can't think exactly what it is, but I'll keep smelling on it and tell you guys what it is. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure out the beans and I'm going to split them up. So I'm going to get these all out here on the scale and I'm going to weigh them out. I got 4 ounces of beans. So realistically, I want to do 2 ounces in each jar. So for anyone who is listening to this and is like, holy crap, $45 to make vanilla is like insane. That is above my price budget. That is totally fine. This is going to be more for people that are currently buying vanilla extract from the store. And if you're buying like Molina or I don't really know, but any of the other like imitation vanilla that seems inexpensive, it's because it's just not vanilla. It might have some vanilla in there, but realistically it's like synthetic. And so if you're buying true vanilla extract, that tiny little bottle, it's quite expensive. And making it at home, this $45, basically $10 an ounce or $11 an ounce or whatever it ends up being with shipping is way cheaper than buying it from the store. So it is pricey, but if you're buying it at the store, this is definitely a cheaper option. So I just want to show you guys here. So this is going to be about 2 ounces of beans. It's a little bit over, but they gave me an extra bean, which I appreciate. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take all these guys and probably cut them in half. Well, actually, I'm going to split them with my knife kind of down the center here, and then I'm going to cut them in half. So I'm going to go ahead and get these cut open. So what I'm going to do here is I'm literally just trying to cut it open. So I just want to show you guys, you can kind of see what it looks like. It's sparkling almost in there. Those are all those vanilla beans, and that's what we want to expose to the alcohol and have all that come out. So what I'm going to do is I just split that one down the center, and then I'm going to cut it in half and then move that aside. And I'm just going to do it a lot more times. So again, I just want to show you guys, if you've never seen inside a vanilla bean. Let's see if I can zoom in here. All of that kind of crystally looking nonsense is all your vanilla beans. I'm going to touch it a little bit. See if I can show you guys. So that is your vanilla beans. And when you eat like vanilla ice cream and it has those little black dots, that's what that is. They're these little vanilla beans. So these are all cut up. I've got 2 ounces done and ready to go. I'm going to get these other 2 ounces done, and we're going to get both of these put into the jars of alcohol. Okay, so we got all of our beans cut up. God, I hate the way it smells. Okay. So we have all of our beans cut up. So now literally all I'm going to do is just drop 2 ounces of those cut beans. So half of all of those cut beans that we did. I'm going to drop them right in here. Okay, there's half in the bourbon. And I'm going to get the vodka and I'm going to take the other half. It's fine. It's going in vodka. Let's sterilize it. So I've got the bourbon, got the vodka. Let's get some lids. Okay, so I'm going to take a lid with a ring for the mason jar. I've got the vodka closed up. Take the bourbon with a ring and lid. I'm going to close that up. You guys, that's it. Look at that. Now, these 2 guys will sit on the shelf, like I said, for about, I don't know, at least 6 months. You can do it longer if you'd like. So I just set those on the shelf with my starter, just so that way it's not something that I'll forget about. And every few days I'll give it a shake and just make sure all the beans are getting incorporated in that alcohol. And then, yeah, they sit there for just basically until Christmas. And then we'll strain the beans out. And then I want to show you what you can do with those beans after they're done, because yes, $45 for some vanilla extract might seem expensive. It is all relative and it is cheaper than buying it at the store. But I do want to show you as well what you can do with those beans after, so that way you can stretch your dollar a little bit further. Let me show you. Oh gosh, I just had a sneezing attack. Okay, so what I do is when I'm done with making my vanilla extract in, around Christmas time this year, I'm going to strain the liquid out and I'm going to put that in cute little jars, and that will be your vanilla extract. That's this guy right here. And then what I do is I take those beans and I let them dry out, get some of the excess vodka out of them, and then I'm going to add them to sugar. So this right here is going to be my last batch of beans. This is the 8 ounce of beans I did before. I dropped all of these in sugar, and basically you create vanilla sugar with them. This is a jar that I have that is completed. So this is full of vanilla sugar. This is after I kind of take the beans out. It turns into just this great vanilla sugar. And then what I'll do is I make like simple syrup out of it. When I'm making my simple syrup for my coffee, instead of using plain sugar, I'll use some of the vanilla sugar. So I'll have like a vanilla, look at Charlotte. I'll have a vanilla simple syrup instead. You can use it for baking. So like when you're making sugar cookies, making vanilla sugar cookies. But yeah, I'll just literally leave these beans in here. And then as I feel like it gets really incorporated and starts to get that beautiful like off-white color with all those specks of black in there, I'll just take some more of that sugar out. And I've just been adding more sugar to this as I go. It continues to turn it that off-white color, so it is continuing to make vanilla sugar. So I'm just going to keep adding some to it until it stops doing it. But realistically, yeah, that's what I do with all my leftover beans. So you guys, that is it. That is how you make vanilla extract. You get some real stinky alcohol, some real potent alcohol. You get beans, you cut them open, put them in there and close them. And then you just let them do their thing for a few months, strain, and you have vanilla extract. Now, if you decide to keep those beans to make vanilla sugar or do anything else with them, you can make vanilla paste. There's a bunch of things. But if you decide to do any of that, then fantastic. But if not, you did create vanilla extract and it is super easy to do. Have you guys made it before? And if you have you done the vanilla sugar, or is there anything else that you do with your beans? I want to know, because I don't know if I need that much more vanilla sugar. And so when this batch is done that we just started, I probably will need some ideas of what to do with it. So please let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and then turn on those notifications so that way you don't miss out on our future content. A lot of you guys ask how to support, and honestly, just taking the time to watch our videos, share them with anyone else you think might enjoy them. That is honestly the best way to support us, and we thank you so much for it. Until next time, you guys, do not forget our motto here at LittleVFarm: anything grows if you try.